TJ.
Well, there is the lineup for the next event on the track, the men's 100 metres. Richard Kilty, World Indoor Champion back in 2014, goes in lane 9, and that lane draw really reflecting his recent fortunes. He has had some injury problems recently. Disqualified from the European Championships last year for a false start. Born in Stockton-on-Tees up in the northeast of England. There's Joel Fearon, 28 years old now, the Brit. He was 5th at the UK Championships last week in 10.26. He goes in 1. Brandon Carnes of the USA. 10.16 in Eugene at the NCAAs a few weeks back, and then a 10.14 in Sotteville. That was close to his lifetime best last week. Harry Akinzariti, European Junior Champion in the sprint relay back in 2014. European Champion, I should say. 3rd in Birmingham last week in 10.20 in the UK Championship. Chinder Uju. And CJ, as he's known to his friends, he was only ran the semi-finals in the UK Championships with windy 9.98. Didn't bother turning up to the final. He's already had a great season with a win in Rome. Isaiah Young goes in lane 5. 4th in Lausanne in 10 seconds exactly, Young. Then James Dasaiolu in 6th. Says this is a make-or-break season for Dasaiolu. 5th in Lausanne in 10.12. European champion twice in 2014 at 100 and in the relays last year. There is BJ Lee, a shy retiring young man for the USA in lane 7. Semi-finalist at the US Championships 10.16 and then 10.11 when he gets 5th in the final. Kim Collins goes in lane 8. Collins, of course, 41 years old now, world champion back in 2003 in Paris at 100 metres. He's a 9.93 performer. And beside the man from St. Kitts and Nevis, Richard Kilty, world indoor champion in 2014, recovering from injury. How will he cope with this sort of company? Well, CJ Uja has had a super summer. He was the winner in Rome in 10.02 in the Diamond League meeting there, then 2nd in Oslo in exactly the same time. Didn't contest the final last week of the UK Championships. Having looked so impressive in his semi-finals, he didn't feel there was anything to be gained. Former European Junior Champion CJ Uja. So that lineup from the inside with strong British and American participation here. Fearon in 1, Carnes in 2, Harry Akinzariti in 3, CJ Uja in 4. Watch him. Isaiah Young in 5, Dasaiolu 6, Lee in 7, Kim Collins in 8, and Richard Kilty on the far side in lane 9. Here's Kilty nearest the camera. Oh, let's have a look at who might have been responsible for that one, and it might have been Joel Fearon in lane 1, according to our reaction times and our computers here. Fearon, it's got 0.080 beside his name, and if you apply pressure to those blocks in under 1/10 of a second, you're deemed to a full start, I'm afraid. Watching the far side. Yeah, there was a tiny, minute acceleration there from Fearon before anybody else. But is he going to be credited with that, or blamed, I should say, for that full start? Lee there in lane 7. I hope he's not being accused. His start reaction time looks okay. The stadium bathed in sunlight now. The overhead stanchions and roof work giving the crowd and athletes on the track with the sun virtually directly overhead. It's what, just after 3 o'clock local time, giving them a degree of shade. Oh, and it does look like a red card maybe on the way. No. And it is lane 1, I think.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, Fearon was already gone. It's symbolic holding up of the card there, but the athlete is long departed by the looks of things. Well, that's a shame for the 28-year-old from Coventry, Joel Fearon. So their blocks again. Brandon Carnes there beside him is now on the inside lane, in effect. He's in lane 2. 22-year-old American. 10.06 he ran back in April, Carnes. That's his lifetime best. Harry Ekins-Ariti is in 3. The CJ Uja in 4. Starts here as one of the favourites, certainly. Isaiah Young in 5. Daseolu in 6. BJ Lee in 7. Kim Collins in 8. Richard Kilty in lane 9 to left of picture. Uja, third from right. Well, good start from Brandon Carnes. Uja as well is moving well and beginning to move away now, or is he? Great running there from Brandon Carnes. But it's CJ Uja who comes through to take this one. 10.03 for Uja. Well, nowhere near the meeting record or indeed the world lead of Christian Colvin of the USA. But that again is a nice Diamond League win for CJ Uja. And you have to say that he's making a habit of this winning. In fact, this is an exhibition event, in effect, a promotional event. It's not a Diamond League event, but a win is a win. And a good field there behind CJ Uja. He's not really hitting the straps against the clock. You've got to be getting under 10 seconds regularly to be a serious medal contender come the World Championship. But he wins in 10.02 from Daseolu, 10.06. I think for Daseolu, that is the season's best. Yes, it is. The win plus 0.3 and Isaiah Young third.
Well, Uja in the second half of the race really starts to motor. He looks so comfortable, doesn't he? He's had some, as you said, some very good performances. One in Rome, second in Oslo, and then the semi-final in the trials in Birmingham. And look at that, nice and easy. Daseolu in second place, and in third place, Isaiah Young. But certainly that was a clear win in 100-meter terms. European champion in the 4x1. He's 10.02 is personal best, and I'm just wondering whether that equaled it. It did. In fact, it's been rounded down to equal his personal best. So that's well, actually, it's his season's best. I beg your pardon. His personal best is 9.96, set in Hengelo in 2014. Another little look at that. He didn't actually get out the blocks the best, but my goodness me, halfway, he really starts. Look at that, beautiful, hips high, is no tension in the shoulders whatsoever. Tunnel vision, absolutely down the middle of that lane, and takes a very, very good. Second half of his race was much better than the first half, actually, but nevertheless, that was a very, very good performance indeed. He's getting consistent.
Well, I'm pleased for Daseolu too, who says that this is a make or break season for him. Takes second place. Uja winning that in 10.02, equaling his season's best in the men's 100 here in London. Daseolu 10.06 and Young 10.07.
The best he had in 2012, he was outstanding. He's getting there again. He's had all sorts of problems with illness. So we've got Aaron Mallet on the inside, Xi Wenjun of China in lane 2, Eddie Lovett of the US Virgin Islands goes in 3, in Merritt, Trajkovic, Devon Allen there in 6, David Omoreggi in 7, Brathwaite in 8, and Jarrett Eaton in 9. Cleanly away, Merritt just a little bit by the man inside of Eddie Lovett, and again the barriers are flying, and Merritt now moving along smoothly, Trajkovic outside him, and Merritt heading them all at the moment. Trajkovic trying to get back down on the outside, Eaton going quickly, but Aries Merritt by a distance at 13.11. Not a breath of wind inside the arena for this one, and Aries Merritt looking good again and smiling. He knows that he's run quicker in the past and he's done greater things, but it's good to see him winning again and smiling again, and he'll be challenging here in the World Championships, no doubt about that. There are some big names missing, but Aries Merritt is one of them now. 13.09 rounded down by a couple of hundredths of a second, so a season's best time for Aries Merritt, and he will be a contender in the World Championships.
He knows how to win. Of course, this is his home of his victory at the Olympic Games, and he'd be very pleased to get under 13.10, 13.09. A flawless performance by him, really. I think all Aries needs to do is just concentrate in that final when it comes to the World Championships, because he makes very little mistakes. And when it comes to the back end of the race, when the pressure's on, if you can keep your technique solid, you'll have a good opportunity.
And again, that first barrier, the undoing of David Omoreggi, he was all over the place after that. I mean, he hit it so hard, he skewed away to the right, and from then on, chasing the race, but far, far too much to do.
Yeah, he'd be very disappointed with that because he'd love to be in a
record. Well, it belongs to one Usain Bolt back in 2008. The Jamaican running 19.76. There's the full lineup. Look for a strong run here from Christophe Lemaitre in lane 7, the Olympic bronze medalist. The French Championships don't come until next week, so very late in this season prior to the World Championships. There is Arnell Hughes of Great Britain, still only 21, 4th in the UK Championships last week. He's not been in the best of form, it has to be said, although he ran 20.22 in Kingston a month or so ago. 5th in the World Championships in Beijing 2 years back. There's Curley, Fred Curley, the US champion at 400 meters from Sacramento, in great form over 400. Does need to find a bit of extra speed though at 200. A personal best today would do him well. Christophe Lemaitre, 4 times a European champion, the Frenchman. He goes in lane 7. Good lane draw for him. He's tall and will come very, very late. He's much better at 200 than 100. Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, as the winner of the British title just last week in Birmingham, 20.18. Very close to his season's best. Danny Talbot inside him, also in great form. He had a real battle with Mitchell-Blake. He goes in 5 to Talbot. He was 2nd at those UK Championships last week. They were so close together. Amir Webb goes in 4th for the USA. 4th in the Paris Diamond League a week ago. He was the US champion with 20.09. Probably starts as favourite here as Webb. Good draw to lane 4. Isaiah Young in lane 3, again for the USA. 4th in Lausanne in 10 seconds exactly over 100 metres. But only a semi-finalist at the US Championships. And then Rashid Dwyer of Jamaica, Commonwealth champion at 200 in 2014 in Glasgow. 3rd in Paris last week in 20.45. He was 2nd in the Jamaican Championship, so will be taking part. And then Jorandi Martina, who goes on the inside for the Netherlands. Martina, 4th at the last World Championships and the reigning European champion at 100, remember, from last year in Amsterdam, where he ran 10.07. And he won the 200-metre title back in 2012. He's a good, adaptable athlete, is Martina, very experienced. And by several years the oldest in this race. He won't be delighted with that lane draw, Martina, lane 1, but let's see how he copes with it, the Dutchman. Rashid Dwyer of Jamaica in 2, Isaiah Young of the USA in 3, Amir Webb goes in 4, remember, the US champion. Danny Talbot of Britain in 5, the British champion Mitchell-Blake in 6, Lemaitre 7, Curley 8, Hughes in 9. A long hold in the blocks there, and perhaps not so surprisingly, a recall. Now, I didn't actually see anybody head off early there, so let's...
And I think it could be Isaiah Young. I have a feeling it could be lane 3. It's only from the computer, but it wasn't absolutely clear, was it? But we'll see.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Yes, Young might have gone off and got up early from lane 3. 3rd from right.
Oh,
nothing really visible there.
A little twitch probably that set it off, and that's a great shame. I hope they get a green card for that, because that was absolutely didn't look anything at all. Let's see what colour card he's going to get.
Well, ironically, at the US Championships, red cards were conspicuous by their absence, despite quite a few false starts over the 4 days in Sacramento.
No, no.
And they're just having a word with the starter there. Don't really need to see the starter. Need to see whether anybody's walking out there with a card, yellow or green card, but I can't see anybody at the moment.
Oh, here it comes. Here it is. Is that green? That's green.
Well, it's a faulty start rather than a full start, I think. Everybody's still there, thank goodness. Let's take you through that field again. Jorandi Martina of the Netherlands, the European champion, goes in 1. European champion at 100, that is. Rashid Dwyer of Jamaica goes in 2, Commonwealth Games champion. Isaiah Young in 3, then Amir Webb in 4, the US champion. Danny Talbot, the UK championship silver medalist, goes in 5. Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake goes in 6, former European junior champion, but he's the British senior champion. from last weekend. Lemaitre in 7, Fred Kerley in 8 for the USA. And away they go. Zharnel Hughes on the outside left of picture there. And certainly Danny Talbot's gone off very quickly indeed. So has Mitchell Blake in 6. Mitchell Blake possibly leading at the moment, although good bend from Amir Webb in 4. Webb it is into the straight by half a metre, coming through strongly on his inside. Zaza Young and the two Britons, Talbot and Mitchell Blake trying to come back at them. But this is going to be a win for Amir Webb by a metre, and coming through very strongly there on the outside. The 400-metre special, the US champion at 400, Fred Kerley from lane 8. I think he might have taken second place, but that winning time, well, unofficially 20.13, and it is confirmed now into a very slight headwind, minus 0.7 for Amir Webb. He ran a very, very nicely measured race, didn't he? Strong on the bend, came into the straight with a slight lead, and then began to ease away through the second half. That was the perfectly judged race of a 200-metre specialist. Fred Kerley as a 400-metre man, as you would expect, coming through very late over that last 30 or 40 metres, but he does run a personal best. I said he'll need a personal best, and it's a big personal best for Kerley in second place, 20.24.
Well, Webb, remember, he ran that 20.09 in the American Championships into a 2.3 metre headwind, and obviously not quite so tired as he was in Paris when he came in 4th place. He looks good here, struggling a little bit, rock and rolling at the end, but look on the near side with Kerley coming through to take second place from Isaiah Young on the far side at the top of your picture. So a clear victory for Amir Webb, and as you said, Tim, he was the favourite, but as we saw him in Paris, he really was quite tired, wasn't he, and didn't perform well.
Yeah, Webb there with the 4th place in Paris in 20.48, but 3 metres and more better here with a comfortable win from what, 5 men crashing across the line within a few inches of each other. But really strong running from Kerley, and well done to him for maintaining his form and battling all the way to the line. Mitchell Hughes, the British #1, to the left of picture, finishing in 4th place. But Webb dipping perfectly too to make it that comfortable win. 20.13 for Webb then from Kerley, 2024, the same as Young. 1-2-3 for the USA from a 4.56 for the UK in the 200.
Have the qualifying time yet. Rooney, similarly as European champion, he's designated to be eligible if he were to run the qualifying time as well. And then the man who's surprised everyone this year on the outside, Dwayne Cowan, who won the European Team Championships and finished in that blanket finish at the trials, finished in 4th place. He's right on the outside. So Hudson Smith's in 5, very good American Michael Cherry inside him as well. And away they go then. And Hudson Smith stopped and then tripped. Now it looked as though he thought there was a recall, and then in pulling up was tripped up. Let's hope he's okay. So big gap there in the middle. No Matthew Hudson Smith really trying to trace down Youssef and Cowan on the outside, but then inside Mark Rooney run smoothly through that first 200 is Michael Cherry, who ran quick in the American Championships, but such as their strength and depth didn't make it through. Kevin Borley trying to get into this, but Tony McQuaid, sorry, the one who's going well here. Cherry trying to chase him. So McQuaid and Cherry, 2 Americans. Youssef trying to get back into this with Cowan, but Cowan doing the better of the Brits. He's finishing the strongest on the outside. And look at Cherry, he storms away, but McQuaid's finished second on the spot. Cowan, good performance from him. Closest to the camera. He's the best of the British athletes there. That will be another quick time for Cowan. 32 Cowan is. Keeps getting better, but Cherry and McQuaid, well, they're not doing the World Championships, but the 2 of them ran so fast at the American trials. Didn't have to go so quick to win today. 45.02 the winning time.